Hi, welcome back to Shotoku Tech. In my video M5Stack UIFlow Custom Blocks, a friend of the channel has this question about variables that can have a value that can be true or false in UIFlow. I have this idea where the ABC buttons will populate Boolean variables. If a button is pressed, a Boolean variable will be set to true. The program flow will check the Boolean variable and increment the value of one of three variables. These variables, red, green, and blue, will be mixed to light both the LED bars and the background color of the screen on my core unit, with the resulting color from mixing red, green, and blue values between 0 to 255. There is logic in the program flow that resets the red, green, and blue values to 0 when they exceed 255. You can download a copy of this program from my GitHub site to use at flow.m5stack.com or in UIFlow Desktop. Look for the link in the description below. In UIFlow, defining variables is easy. You just want a unique and descriptive name. Once you've created a variable, you get two additional functions to work with. You can set the value of the variable or increment that value by a defined amount. I'm calling the Boolean variables bool button A, bool button B, and bool button C. We also want variables for red, green, and blue. Let's add some labels to the user interface to display the values of the red, green, and blue variables on the screen of the core unit. I'm getting out the button events here, and we want a main loop as well. At the beginning, I want to set the RGB bars brightness at the beginning to 10. I'm pulling out all the variables to act as an outline to help me think. Let's hide the UI to get more room. At the beginning of the program, we want to set the default values for each of the variables. Red, green, and blue start at 0. Bool button A, B, and C start at false. Here you can see the Boolean variable starts to take shape. These will either be true or false. Note that these values don't come from the math section. These aren't string variables that contain a word true or false. These Boolean variables are just true or false, and you can get that from the logic section in UIFlow. Now we're setting up the button A, B, and C handlers where the Boolean variables for these buttons are set to true if the corresponding button is pressed. This may not be the most streamlined code here, but I'm stacking some if statements that will increment the red, green, and blue variables if the Boolean variable corresponding to the appropriate button is pressed. Then I set the Boolean variable back to false. Look closely at the if statement. Notice how it is simply if bool button A. The resulting logic is simply if true, proceed with the underlying code. We're putting on the limits here for the red, green, and blue variables. If they go past 255, they're set back to 0. We're adding labels to print the red, green, and blue variables on the user interface. Let's make sure to set the label color. I'm looking things back over to see if I'm missing something. Oh yeah, we need to add the RGB bars. This is a basic core unit that I added the M5 Go Fire battery bottom to. Check out this video for more details on all the benefits of doing this. Of course, the M5Stack Fire IoT kit comes with this bottom by default. There we go. The RGB bars will be lit with the color of the combined red, green, and blue values. Oh yeah, if you don't have the RGB bars, you can omit these lines of code and still just mix the colors on the screen. Here we set the screen background to that same color. Okay, we have the code ready. Let's connect our core unit. Click on Run, and the code is uploaded and executed. Here is the core unit running the code. Red, green, and blue are all 0 at the start. Let's bring red up to 255. Yeah, that's a nice bright red. Then cycle red back to 0 and bring the green up to the max. It's green. Cycle green back to 0 and bring blue to the max. Okay, now let's mix all 3 colors. This is fun. Finally, you have red, green, and blue all at 255, and you get the brightest of each color combined. Okay, I hope that answers the question our friend has about variables that can be true or false in UIFlow. Got a question or suggestion? Leave a comment down below. Give this video a like. And before you go on to watch more of my M5Stack videos, please click on subscribe. Thank you very much.